Welcome to Late Breakfast. I'm Taurian B.
I'm First Class Regg.
All right, this week we got the usual suspects in here. We got Robbie Digital, we got that Aviles guy, and we got LaShawn. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody feeling today?
Feeling good.
Great.
Feeling
like
good.
a free man.
Like a free man. Damn, man.
Wow.
Okay. Well, this week.
What I miss?
I was about to wait. What?
Yeah, right. that threw all of us off. This week we are going to talk about which trumps which, street cred or business acumen. We previously done, we've talked about Lil Wayne taking a picture with Trump. We've talked about Ice Cube working on a platinum plan with Trump. We've talked about Meek Mill possibly meeting with Trump but being advised not to, right? And we've talked about Kanye West pretty much saying that he looks at Donald Trump like a superhero, like his dad. And in all cases, we said like, yo, like you can't do that. You know, you can't work with this person. You can't, do certain things, right? But when the pardons list came out last week, a list of names of certain people that are prominent in the hip hop world came out that we saw were getting pardoned. One was Lil Wayne, which was no surprise to us. Harry O, the original founder of Death Row, which understood he's been in jail for a very long time, but some people had a side eye for Snoop Dogg because they realized that somehow, some way, someone had to speak with the Trump administration and Jared Kushner because that's who was in charge of things, right? Who else got pardoned? The Tiger King did not get pardoned.
Yo, your man has the whole limo and everything outside.
Yeah, he got his
ready
head
for
in
him.
and all that, right? So there were quite a few people. Guy Fisher, the famed Harlem hustler who did not snitch, did his time, stood up like a man. Who is Corey Fisher, former Villanova Star's uncle.
Did you say Kodak Black already?
You said what?
You said
Kodak. I was just about to get to Kodak. Kodak Black got pardoned, and he went on to thank President Trump. And got his lawyer did such a good job. He got his lawyer's name tattooed on him. So, and then Desiree Perez's name was also listed on there, who is the CEO of Rock Nation, who just won Executive of the Year, and it was put out a couple years back that she was a FBI informant who wore a wire to take down a Colombian drug cartel. So obviously that sent shockwaves everywhere because, she's a Jay-Z associate. She is married to one of his best friends, OG Juan. Obviously, that made Choke No Joke and D-Haven, that pretty much gave those two orgasms because they uploaded so many videos online and just went and was just questioning like, yo, how can some people like Yo Gotti, Meek Mill, Casanova, anybody that considers themselves street dudes, Fat Joe, Jim Jones, like how could any of these people consider themselves street dudes and they are standing next to this guy who's standing next to this woman? And in a interview with the New York Daily News and the New York Post, she came out and said like, she feels like she can finally breathe. The reasons for her making sure she got this pardon was because you can't work for a public company and have a record. You can't be a felon. So for her, this made sense, like to do this. But, the optics just look weird to a lot of people because people are like, yo, Jay-Z has always rapped about not wanting to deal with snitches. Jay-Z has always rapped about street code and street cred and things like that. And like pretty much denouncing people for being snitches. Meek Mill, an artist that like he's very close to and he's grooming, can't stand Tekashi 6ix9ine, but has nothing to say about Desiree Perez. Funkmaster Flex came out and gave a whole 2 hours to only say Desiree Perez gets a pass because she's a civilian, right? After everything that he can find a way to look at things. So with me giving that whole opening thing, I just want to talk to you guys about this and say, does it matter after a certain point when you're no longer a street person? According to Jay-Z, he hasn't sold drugs since 95, 96, right? So he hasn't been a part of that lifestyle for a long time. But does that make us look at him differently? or does it not even matter? Like, does it not matter, or does it matter in this realm? Like, truthfully, whoever wants to go first, we can kick it off. I just want to hear everybody's thoughts.
It big matters. It definitely matters. I think that it's about time people just come clean and say that we have bias towards certain people, and we like who we like, and we accept what we accept from certain people. Like, we love Snoop, but there's paperwork on Snoop talking to the feds. There's paperwork with other rappers complying with feds and, being cooperative. It's just that the media points out who all of it, and then the streets decide whether they like that person or not. Like, everyone has had their fair share of whatever they do and trying to stay free. There's some niggas who stand up, do their time like a man, and we respect them for it. And other people who bury that paperwork and you never hear about it. I think Desiree Perez is interesting because you're automatically calling her a civilian. And I don't like when we throw civilian around like such a loose title, because if you are an informant, that means you are close enough to get information and inform the FBI, thus saying that you're not a civilian.
That's not necessarily true. Like,
I look at a civilian.
Hold on. Just understand what you're saying. You can be a civilian and just happen to see something or be around something that does not make you a part of it. You can also have gotten caught up in something. So understand, like you're literally grouping anybody who does deal with the police as automatically part of the crime. That's not always the case when people are becoming an informant. So even if they are that close, it may not be by choice. It may be proximity, and it may be circumstances. So just be careful when you're saying that anybody who's
my question to you,
the blanket statement of civilian.
Okay, so my question to you would be, is she reaping the benefits of her proximity?
Well, yes. Yeah, she is.
Do you think that she's completely unaware about what's going on?
No.
Yes, but that doesn't make her not a civilian. Just because you're aware of what's going on doesn't make you an active participant in what's going on. That's very different.
Okay.
LaShawn, go ahead.
I hate being in a position where I sound like I'm agreeing with Rob, but she got caught with like 53 bricks, bro. She's not a civilian.
Oh, no, I don't mean her. I mean in general, because Rob was generalizing it.
He wasn't. Yeah, well, in the general statement, right. Like me and Danny could be walking down the street. We see somebody get popped. And the cops ask us what happened. We say, we saw a black car spray out some shit. I don't think we informants. We was on the sidewalk when that shit happened. Cool. But in the situation of the topic and with the person at hand, she got caught with some shit on her, bro. She didn't just get caught with one. She was transporting that shit. You know what I'm saying? So she don't get, I don't feel like she technically gets the civilian pass. I feel like she gets the, if you affect my bottom line, where you take me out of the red to the green pass. So if it's lucrative for me to do business with you, I don't give a fuck what you did. Just keep that shit away from me. And then you see that a lot in life. Like, niggas, everybody got a street code until their bottom line is affected. So most people, let me not say everybody, but we've seen it a lot where like you'll look or turn the other cheek to some shit or say, I wasn't around for that, or that was before I even got here. I ain't really focused on that. You'll find every excuse known to man, but at the end of the day, if my bottom line is affected in a beneficial way where I can make a shitload of money, I know we're not dealing with no street shit, so I may not have to worry about you snitching on me, but my moral codes of snitching, they'll probably say, well, if I was in that position, I wouldn't do it. I can't speak for what another person would do. But but at the end of the day, it's all about their bottom line in their pockets, bro. The money is the root of all evil, and everybody got a price in some sense. Like, somebody is willing to do something for the right amount of money, no matter what. And you think about it, her explanation for doing it is to say so she can get a corporate job, so she could allocate more funds for herself and her family. So she and everybody else has some sort of bottom line on why they snitching, man.
Yo, what was it? What was the line, LA? Sorry, nigga, I'm trying to come back home.
I'm just trying to come home. That's it.
That's what it was, right? Okay, cool.
You know what I'm saying? Sorry, nigga, I'm just trying to come home. Like at the end of the day, everybody got a reason for doing what they did. It's up for us to whether we agree on it or not. But it's all about,
as far as I'm concerned,
how many dollar signs is in front of the situation.
As far as I'm concerned, that would look at her and Tekashi in the same place, just not taking the same route.
Well,
I mean, benefiting in the same place.
No, I'm not gonna let you do that.
If you do the math,
you can't.
Okay, she's not perpetuating. She's not perpetuating the situation, but she is reaping the benefits privately, opposed to Tekashi reaping the benefits publicly.
Okay, but that's a huge difference that you can't just gloss over. She's not glorifying this lifestyle like how Tekashi is doing. She did literally what she thought was best to put her family in a position the way that she did it. Whereas the difference with Tekashi, which is a huge difference, he was trying to live off of this. Like he had his album is called Tattletales. Like he was living off of this. So he made a whole image off of that. I think what she did was just a process of elimination of what will work best. I don't think it was something to be in the same light as Tekashi.
Yeah, Rob.
Okay, that's fair. That may be a little bit drastic.
Yeah, I wanted to piggyback off that. So Tekashi pretty much got people locked up that were, from what we know, right? That were like that consider him friends. Like one of the dudes that he got locked up, he actually named a song after that was one of his friends. And, pretty much like ruined their lives. As far as like Desiree, we don't know the full story. We don't know if like the man that she was involved with might have been like beating on her, abusing her, forcing her to like make these drug exchanges. We don't know that, right? We don't know that part of the story.
Of course.
Because there are women who are like, kind of get into the lifestyle and then like a guy like is forcing them to do it against their will. Maybe she wanted no parts of that shit, right? But like she was forced to do it, and then she got in trouble the first time and she got probation. And then she got caught again later on in 99, and then that's when she had to do time. So
she got caught twice.
She got caught twice.
So she's not a civilian.
Right. So I'm just saying, like, we don't know.
That's just.
We just don't know. We don't know the whole story. We just know like what's the facts that are like released. And the only reason why any of this information even got released was because she was advising A-Rod to basically make the Yankees hold up a contract that they had with him, but they were trying to change it because he got in trouble for steroids. And she was like, nah, like you're going to keep this. And then the Yankees was like, oh, word? All right, let's put your business out in the New York Post. And then that's how we knew. But if that was the case, we probably would never even know that this woman has a criminal past.
So you're saying the Steinbrenners give it up filthy.
Give it up.
Yeah.
Filthy.
Steinbrenner's the filthiest motherfucker in New York.
This is my next question, right? So how are rappers supposed to navigate this, right? Because there are rappers that are going to have to go on press run soon. And somebody's going to be bold enough to ask them these questions. Meek Mill, Yo Gotti, Casanova, he ain't doing interviews no time soon. Unfortunately he's locked away right now. Jim Jones, Fat Joe, like these are Roc Nation affiliates and artists that might have to like address this, and they're probably just going to say, I don't know what's going on, right?
Taurian.
Yes.
Who are they signed to?
They are signed to Roc Nation.
Ain't nobody asking them niggas shit. Period. That's it.
Somebody's going to be bold enough to do it.
We know the game.
Somebody's going to be bold enough to do it.
Somebody's.
Yeah, but I think that's cool. LA. I think that's why, in particular, that Taurian brought those names up because of their affiliation, right? And I think going somewhere like, I don't know, say the Breakfast Club.
They not doing it, Regg.
You think? I think
they're not doing it, bro.
I think
Charlemagne is bold, but he's not that bold.
Yeah.
But from what I've known from Charlemagne and Charlemagne's history, if you do give him a line of things that he can't say, he's gonna say it.
or they're not going to do the interview. What they've been doing now,
probably,
that's more likely. That's
what they've been doing now. You know what I'm
but
saying?
But they also make that public that we're not, the reason why we don't have this interview is because we've been given XYZ why we can't answer. And that in itself is going to answer enough questions.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think about it this way, right? Also, you got to think about it this way. Let's say I'm an up-and-coming artist, and I looked up, Hov is my favorite rapper. Hov is giving me an opportunity, you know? But I before I was rapping, I was 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the street life, right? And the person who's signing my checks is a former informant. She may not be my day-to-day. You know what I'm saying? I think about it like this way. I'll give you a perfect example, right? I forgot the last mass shooting, right? In a school. And I forgot the company that does the transport. Huh?
It was in Florida.
That was the last one. The company that does the mass that's in charge of like transportations of weapons, right? My company flat out said, yo, you know, this is getting out of control. You know, we're no longer going to transport these weapons for you. They came out and said, all right, that's cool. We're pulling out all our investments. Right? You know what my company said? Well, you know, we reviewed it and we don't think that's the best way to go because that would affect our employees and this is a lot of money so basically their investments is worth millions to billions of dollars, right? So morally, they wanted to do the right thing and pull and not transport
dollars to donuts.
You know what I'm saying? And not transport these weapons anymore. But financially, you willing to start over? You feel me? So technically, do we transport a weapon every single night or a day or flight? Absolutely not. But that bottom line, you're not gonna risk that. So at the end of the day, when it comes to your morals, it doesn't meet is it gonna put you in the red or not? So I could be an artist who loves Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? And the CEO of the record label is an informant. That ain't got shit to do with me. I'm here because of Hov. And that's probably, and if somebody was to ask me that, I would have probably said the same thing. Yo, I met her 1 or 2 times, you know, but my day-to-day is probably, you know, Lenny S or this, that, and the third or that, but that's not my day-to-day.
And also, too, I think one of my favorite TV shows is television series was Mad Men. And Don Draper said, if you don't like what they're talking about, you change the conversation, meaning you control your own narrative. The pleasantries of being at Rock Nation is you don't have to go on the media run because they have in-house media. They'll find places to put you where those questions won't get, they'll control their own narrative. You'll never worry about having to do an interview that you're uncomfortable with because they have interviewees to make it comfortable for you. Oh, we can do a title exclusive interview. We could do a Rap Radar interview with you. Like Elliot's never going to ask any tough questions. We're fine. We're cool. Yeah. He's going to laugh. He's going to do a fluff piece. And, you know, you're going to get posted on Instagram and your album will come out. So they don't really have to worry about deviating.
That's a great ass point, my brother. Yeah.
I have a question.
They don't have to worry from deviating from the plan at all.
Do our artists or anybody in life, let's say you come from a criminal background and you make that conscious choice to change your life, and you want to actively leave completely the streets, are you allotted that of becoming a civilian at that point if you no longer have any connection to the streets? If you're no longer participating, I'm asking. Like, let's say you're in the streets. You're in the streets, and you make a conscious decision that this is no longer my life. This is no longer something I want to partake in.
What? Wait, what?
So you're saying, do we charge Malcolm X?
No. What I'm asking is,
do you charge Malcolm X for being Malcolm Little?
Exactly. And here's the thing, because at that point, hold on. At that point, I feel like there's a certain point where you become famous enough, or rather your lifestyle is just so drastically different from being involved in the streets that if you react the way you would have while being in the streets, you're right back in the streets. Because I've seen it, I've experienced it, and I know situations where people who may not have expected to deal with cops because, for example, let's say somebody got caused physical harm after years of not being in the streets. Are they wrong to press charges at that point? It's something not related to anything they did in their past. It's just them being in the streets.
I want to answer your question, Danny.
Go ahead, LA.
Does the message change though?
No, I'm asking an average person, not necessarily an artist or something of that nature. I mean, average.
Am I fully removed from? So let's say I was on hard times. I did some street shit. I'm finally back on my feet. I go legit. Can I be a civilian again?
Yeah, that's the question.
Am I 100% removed from it?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. If the person
then absolutely, I'm a law-abiding tax-paying citizen. Hell yeah.
You have to. The problem is you have to define what removed is, and I think that's where the problem comes. Like niggas want to be removed, but they still want to be in the area in which they still want to be in those areas that they were a part of. If you're gonna remove yourself completely. Like, yo, I don't live in that city. I don't live in that town. I don't be there like that. My life is type different now. Niggas want to be removed, but then want to be in those areas in which they say they're removed because they're not doing those same activities.
I think
that causes a problem because when those, like most of the niggas I know who commit street shit and they go legit now, they always say, yo, but if it happens, and I know why. Because that you're whether you deem your past to be over, that's not the case for everybody.
Yeah.
Somebody may not. So you have to make a definitive decision of how far you want to remove yourself.
That's a fact. But at that point, if I've made that decision to remove myself, no, I get it, and I've come to these crossroads myself in the past with things that have happened in my life because of my previous life and things that I have to accept that just is what it is. But you get to a point where I'm not in the streets. I'm not going to play street games with you. It's either at that point, it's either I go full on criminal again and you're going to really see what I could become, or I'm going to protect my peace, my family, what I've built for myself, and then go about it a different route. And honestly, it's like LA said, at the bottom line, if you're fucking up my money and if it's going to cause me to turn into a savage again, where I have to be in the streets again, I'm going to choose the option that keeps me out and is going to protect my family and everything and protect my peace.
Danny, my question to you is, and this is all hypothetical. Let's say you in the streets, you know what I mean? You doing what you got to do. You catch a body. You caught that body. It is what it is. That body that you caught, they had a child. That child grows up without a father. You've changed your life. You've completely removed yourself from the street. You're legit now. You know what I mean? You have kids. You have a wife. You know what I mean? You live in the American dream.
Mm-hmm.
That kid comes to you and pops you because you popped his kid. You popped his father or his mother, and he had to grow up a different life because of the decisions that you made.
Mm-hmm.
And he felt like, yo, I owe you this.
Okay.
Is he wrong in that? Just because you changed your life?
He's not wrong in that, but also my wife.
And I mean,
hold on. I'm answering your question.
Look, yeah, go ahead. Because I want to hear
you're giving me that. No, he's not wrong in life. You know, there's consequences to your actions, and you know, sometimes things that you did years and years before, no matter how much you change your life, are going to come bite you in the ass. But at the same time, my wife and kids, I have every right to go tell on that motherfucker because they killed their father and handle it a different way because they're removed from the situation.
Okay. Nah, I agree with that.
All right.
So, and what was the face about?
Because it's like right now we're talking about being an informant. We're not talking about like murder or death. And I understand in the street, like things can like veer off, right? So basically, what we're talking about is what becomes like the precedent, right? So what should be more important to Jay-Z? Should it be like his street cred because of what he built for his career, right? Because people believed like, all right, cool, like Jay-Z was the ultimate hustler. He followed every street code and he did everything. Or should it be that, you know, Jay-Z became like a businessman and the reason why he is a billionaire now is because, he had to learn how to navigate in the business world, where things like this shouldn't be that big of a deal, because I guess Jay-Z has enough trust in this woman to know that she wouldn't do that to him. Because typically people don't fuck with snitches because they feel like, all right, a snitch is always going to save themselves.
Or maybe he's just smart enough to move so that she doesn't know anything that she may be able to use against him.
But then my question is, if you're removing yourself...
Before you get to that,
go ahead, Reg.
Part of the allure of someone like Jay-Z is that we got to see it from the beginning, right? We got to see him 26 years old start off to where he is now. He's a billionaire. You don't get to billionaire status without some messy shit happening. And it's not a regular billionaire. Like, this is someone that's in the rap world where it's built off the ethics of no snitching, off of like street code, everything like that. But when you reach billionaire status, you have a lot of other worries in the world. You have a lot of other shit that you need to attain and a lot of shit that you need to manage that you just didn't need to worry about before. I feel like once he reached the billionaire status, it opened him up to a lot of other shit and a lot of other challenges where he can't just be seen as just Jay-Z anymore. Like, he's just like, we hold him as that, but I feel like he had,
No, I was going to go let you finish up.
We hold him to that because that's how we know him. And we still see him as one of ours, but I think he's just not in that same area anymore. And we need to stop, I feel like, grouping him into being like, we still look at Hov like, yeah, he's not.
But like, you know why it's hard to do that, Reg? Because he don't let that shit go. He still
absolutely. Well, no. He does let it go, but he's
been let it go.
He still toys with rapping about it. But I think he has.
That's what I mean. That's
why he said, and I think Jay literally addresses this throughout his career. You want that old Jay shit? Buy my old albums. Yeah. The streets is dead. Like, he's literally addressing all these things.
But then he'll
Jay, hold on. Jay hasn't been street Jay since at least Black Album, maybe. Even before that, no. Not true. And when I mean street Jay is, hold on.
Him and Pusha T.
That's a record. It doesn't matter. You're talking about a record. I'm talking about actual Jay-Z in real life.
Jay-Z's bar is, y'all record, I recall.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk about anything currently. He only talks about the past.
And Jay has made it clear.
Fine, though.
No, but his demeanor, who he carries himself with, he's made it clear. Ever since the man had a fucking car color named after him, he has Jay-Z Blue. Jay-Z's been different. Yes, he's made sure that part of this whole history that he has is what's built up the allure of who he is. However, Jay hasn't been street Jay in over 10 years. And we keep thinking that we have to hold him to who he was and how he should move now, when no, motherfucker, I'm a billionaire at this point. Don't tell me who I have around me. It even goes back to when I forgot, it's an XXL interview and it's with Ja Rule, and it's right after Jay decided he was going to do those Sprite concerts with Incubus or whatever. I don't know if you guys remember, it was the tour. The Linkin Park tour. No, it was before Linkin Park. It was with Incubus because he was supposed to go on tour with Jay-Z. It's actually an interview where Ja Rule is talking about, he texts Jay-Z in it, and Jay-Z's response was, yo, don't ask me about my business moves. Because he'd rather go on tour with Incubus and Sprite, the Sprite Liquid Tour or some shit, I think it was called back then. And he'd rather get that money than deal with Ja. And Ja asked him, why is he doing this with all these rock motherfuckers? And Jay's response was, don't ask me and question me about how I get my money. And even Ja Rule was like, you know what? I had to understand and let it go. When at that point, that's where you see his mind is. And you could look up how old the Sprite Liquid Tour, whatever that shit was, when he went on tour with Incubus and shit. Jay was thinking different back then. Jay had already separated himself from the streets. Like, Jay's been separated from the streets for a very fucking long time.
And if you want to go deeper, that was part of Jay's whole fallout with Dame, is because he was separating himself from that life. Like him, I remember an interview with Dame where when Hov had first took the Def Jam position and they was in the elevator together and they barely had words for each other because he was dressed completely different. He's like, yo, look at this guy. He's dressed in a suit, whatever. Like, we used to make fun of guys like this, and he's one of them. And those were Dame's words back then. That was well over 10 years ago. So it's just, I think Hov gets grouped into the old way of how he used to be, which is that's understandable. He was out here for 7 straight summers. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I get it. But when you reach billionaire status, you just have a lot of other things that you got to deal with.
Look at the stories about how he reacted to Joe Budden when Joe Budden finally and him had to sit down at Duce Palooza, and Joe tells the story where he's like, yo, Jay's reaction to everything that was pissing me off was, so what? And that's really how Jay sees it. Oh, you guys are mad I'm dealing with this person? You guys are mad I'm getting money with this person? So what? Jay doesn't give a fuck. I think that's what separates him. Jay does not give a fuck.
So I think that's what separates him and Dane, though.
Let's move on from Jay, right? I'm sorry to cut you off. I want to move on from Jay. Because I feel like we're focusing on Jay, and we understand Jay's removed from that. There are certain artists on that label who aren't. Right? So you have Meek Mill, who, right now is like, he literally just came home from being in jail. And, he talks about how he's been going on this campaign. He's been on Clubhouse, constantly talking about how he despises 6ix9ine, how he would never record with Troy Ave because, there's rumors that Troy Ave is cooperating about the situation with Taxstone, right? Shit, you got somebody like Taxstone who basically talks about people that are snitches and not liking snitches and shit like that, right? But at the same time, he loves Jay-Z and like was on the verge of doing business with Roc Nation. So my thing is how do those people address this? Opposed
their
to
bottom line, Taurian, period. That's the answer. Their bottom line. You know why? Because when Meek was going to court, who was the woman behind him?
Who was? I don't know.
Rosie, Miss Perez.
Desiree Perez, she was? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So with that being said,
really?
Yes. That's his at the end of the line, at the end of the day, it's about checks and balances, bro.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I know Nicki Minaj kind of called her out.
I'm gonna send you a picture right now. Hold on.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. Like, yeah, I remember when Nicki Minaj went on live, and she was on live with Tekashi, and they were bringing that up, and it was kind of like awkward because I was like, damn, like, she's affiliated with Roc Nation too. Like, why would she take it there like that? But I mean, like I said, and I think something that we all come to the conclusion is that OG Wan is his best friend. So I'm pretty sure one of his best friends, Tata, is his like best friend, right? Mm-hmm. But I guess what we have to understand is that he's in a position now where certain things just don't matter like that, right? But to us, like, we're looking at it like what we thought all snitches were not. Even he has a famous line where we kind of find out it was kind of more so him like kind of like poking fun at him. But when he said "fuck the haven for caving," made men ain't supposed to make statements. But then we find out that it wasn't about D Haven snitching because he didn't snitch because he was co-defendants with Emery, Jay-Z's very close friend. We find out that he was just saying like, why the fuck are you going on the internet talking? Like, that's more so what he was talking about D Haven caving. So, it's just one of those things where you got somebody like Meek or Yo Gotti who say that they don't want people that cooperated or talk to the feds or the police around them. But then, you got Desiree around and it seems to not be an issue.
And that's the funny thing. I say it's complete bias because at the end of the day, yeah, I see where Regg is coming from. Like, you're a billionaire and you have billionaire problems, but you also have to remember how you became a billionaire. And I think that's really what it comes down to. Like, are the same morals that you had that got you to $1 million, the same morals that you have that got you to $1 billion? Are you willing to compromise those morals? The one thing we've always respected about Hov, to Taurian's point, is that his friends has never changed. Bleak is still there. Tata is still there. Emery is still there. So those people have always played very pivotal roles in his career. And he kept them around because of their loyalty, and they know where the bodies are buried. I don't care how professional or how much money you can make to me. You being an informant, and I deal with artists who are from the streets and 1 foot in and 1 foot out and still have that kind of mentality, you are a liability. I don't care how much money you make me. I can't have you around my artists. I can't have you in my business. I can find something for you to do, but I can't have you in the public spotlight. And it's not a discernment. I mean, it's no discredit to my man OG1. That's my nigga. But your wife is an informant, and I deal with rappers who are in the street. And I don't know where that's gonna take that. And I don't need that kind of thing on. I don't need that on me. So we can find like it's kind of just like casino. Like, look, you can be ahead of things. You can be ahead of the casino. We just gonna put you in food and beverage, my nigga, because I can't have you on Front Street. It ain't safe for me to do that. It don't look right.
Well, I guess it's good you don't run a label and you're not running a criminal syndicate.
Yeah, I guess. If I'm wrong in that, let me know. But that's how
I think I get what you're saying. You're not necessarily wrong, but I can't see the photo.
Yeah, you got to click into the photo.
I got fucked up vision. Yeah.
Oh, I did. Okay.
Nah, we can only see the window. You should double click it. We should be able to see it.
But yeah, I just think people are really not reading the writing on the wall that this has been something that's not affecting a person once you hit a certain mark, and when you're that removed from everything.
And at the end of the day, my brother, the streets ain't real.
Yeah,
it's not.
You know what I'm saying? Who where is this written code of the streets? You know what I'm saying? Who technically we following the morals and guidelines of a bunch of niggas we never met one day in our lives. You know what I'm saying? My foot is not in his shoes, and his foot is not in mine. So based off of his moral compass, I must follow that shit. I don't even know who's the nigga who made these rules up. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like LA has that same shirt though.
You gotta think about it like this, right? The person who's snitching, you gotta think about it like this. He is looking out for himself at the end of the day. He doesn't want you to snitch, so he doesn't get in trouble. He's not thinking about you, your family, your family's family, your generation. He's thinking about himself. So why should I follow the morals of a nigga who was just thinking about himself? And
also what I realized is
I'm no longer in the streets, why must I follow these same rules, bro? It don't apply.
I get that.
It don't apply. You think I'm gonna sit in front of a deal, right? And say, well, you're offering me $3.8 million in a musical advance where I could progress my career, this, that, and the third. But you snitched on a bunch of Puerto Ricans. Nigga, I'm Bayesian. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Where do I sign?
Whoa.
Nah, I'm saying.
Whoa. Come on. What happened to Team OVO? What happened to Team OVO? We were supposed to be gang.
Blame the Yankees, bro. I didn't know you snitched on the Puerto Ricans.
It's on the Dominicans. I mean, on the Colombians.
A-Rod's Dominican, yeah, and she snitched on the Colombians.
Didn't she get caught up in Puerto Rico? There was two.
But that's fine. But she wasn't doing it to Puerto Ricans or go with the Dominicans. Come on.
All I'm saying is
Puerto Rico.
I want my Bad Bunny feature back.
Dorian, all I'm saying is, right? If we're doing business, right, and you snitched on somebody, and you snitching on somebody has nothing to do with this current transaction, why the fuck would I care about that? You know what I'm saying? We're not in the same business. I just know at the end of the day, if shit hits the fan, if you do something that's going to benefit yourself and not the rest, your history has already proven that. You're not teaching me anything new. So there may be certain lines I don't cross with you. There may be certain beds I don't get in with you. Pause if necessary. But I'll just keep it at a face-to-face basis. You know what I'm saying? It's like co-workers. If I'm doing a job, if me and Danny doing a job, and Danny sold bricks 30 years ago before I was fucking born, I'm not gonna do the job with Danny. That don't make no sense. I'm here to get a paycheck.
Yeah. I'm not that old. I'm really tired of all these shots, LA. Okay, I'm not that old.
I like that. That's a good.
But yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There are certain jobs that hire felons. I don't care what you did in the past, bro. That what you did in the past may be the reason why it's a little bit harder for you to get a job. But hey, you're here. Don't fuck this up. Yeah. Why is that not the same conversation?
No, I guess it's just weird because you got to think about it like all right, you see everybody's like Rowdy's coming home, everybody's praising Rowdy, everybody's praising Bobby, right? As they should, because I mean they did the crime. Like they got caught and they went to jail and they stood tall, they did their time, and now they're coming home. So now they're getting celebrated like they should. But a lot of people look at it like, all right, so we're gonna celebrate them, but
yeah, but let me tell you something though, bro. I'm gonna be 1,000 with you. If Rock Nation could get them out that epic deal, they gonna go. They not gonna sit there and say Miss Perez was a say. They don't give a fuck about that. They trying to take everybody out the 90s, which is like mad, like a couple blocks down from here, out the hood. Cause that's the goal. The goal is different. When them niggas was doing street shit, they was just following a code that they were taught. Now their life is different. When you give niggas different opportunities, they can make better decisions. So if that opportunity is a better decision to get everybody out that hood, because truthfully, who wants to do the street shit? If I can make the same amount of money in the streets at my legal job, I'm gonna pick the legal job. It's less headache. You know what I'm saying? So when you give these people a fair opportunity to do the right thing, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna do the right thing. There's no reason to get caught up in the street shit.
So the conclusion that I'm coming to, right, is that street cred does not trump business acumen.
Fuck no.
Controls all.
Fuck no. Hell no. Niggas get crossed all the time because of business, bro. Right. Niggas gonna cross you in business, niggas gonna cross you in the streets. At the end of the day, it's the same. It damn near is the same shit. It's what's what trumps what is what's better for me. Period.
Right. Like me, I'm a strong believer in if you commit a crime, you should be able to stand on that crime that you committed. If you decide to live that life of crime, right?
But they stood on it. That's what I'm saying. We look at how they stand on it differently. She could literally say, yo, I looked at the shit that I did. They gave me a new opportunity to be legit in life. I always wanted it. I don't really live this life. Fuck it, I'm a snitch. We may not look at that stand the same. Somebody may sit there on this planet and say, yo, I understand. There was a lot of people when Tekashi snitched. They said, yo, if niggas was fucking my baby mother or try to rob me or this, that, and the third, I'd have did the same thing. So niggas view what they standing on as different things. It's just... Yeah.
And they adjust it according to their beliefs, you know?
Exactly. You never know what a person gonna do until you put them in that position. Everybody's like, nah, I ain't snitching. Niggas hear them years, they start singing better than Mary J. Blige. It's different. You never know, bro. We can all think the same thing, bro. I tell you this right now. We all get in Taurian car and Rob got a strap on him and we get pulled over. That's Rob's strap. You know why? Because I got family to take care of. I don't know Rob like that. If it's Taurian,
I'm absolutely having that conversation with Rob before they come up, strap on him like, yo, Rob, you better tell him that this is yours and that you did not tell any of us you had it on you. He better.
But what if Rob don't stand? What if Rob don't stand on that compass?
And he's getting his ass beat in the cell once we all end up together.
You know what I'm saying? What if Rob say, yo, they can't take us all down. Let's all stay quiet. We may not agree with that logic.
I'll be quiet to the cell. Then Rob's ass is in that corner getting stomped out.
You see what I'm saying? But all of us have some sort of street ties one way or another where somebody may look at us crazy. I may come back to the hood and be like, yo, damn, LA, you cooperated? That's not how we give it up out here. Nigga, the fuck is you talking about?
Fight me then.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it all depends on. And Rob, you know, I ain't gonna snitch on you, bro. I was just using you as that.
I appreciate that. But I also think what it comes down to, and people use tax a lot in this conversation. If there's one thing I've learned from tax and watching interviews and stuff like that, is you don't put your friends in situations that you know your friends are not capable of handling.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's what comes with the real informant thing with Desiree Perez and a lot of those things. Like, you know who's built for that and you know who's not built for that. And you have to move accordingly. There's a reason why, you know, when you watch The Departed, you know, what was it? The two people, Leonardo DiCaprio and Ben Affleck, I think, or whoever it was, they were working for the same partner, Matt Damon, but they didn't know who they were working for. They didn't know. The reason why you have to move like that is because you have to know, if you're my friend, if we're really friends, you know what I'm capable of. And you're not going to put me in a situation where I have to compromise my morals based upon our friendship. Because if we're friends, you know my morals already. I know what friend you can call for to do certain things and what friends you can't. So even in that Desiree Perez situation, she's a 2-time loser in that. So in that regard, yeah, I am going to hold you accountable because you look funny in the light. Like I shouldn't have put you in that situation from the beginning, and then I put you in it again, and then you become an informant.
But so listen. There's a song Jay did, right, called "You Must Love Me," where Shorty gets knocked up, or she wants to take the bricks, right? And she took them, right?
She took them, but got knocked.
And she knew the risk, and he knew the risk. You know what I'm saying? But he allocated her taking that risk as love. What happens if she got knocked? Or did she get knocked in the song?
I think she gets knocked in the song.
She get knocked, but did she snitch? I don't think she snitched. She held it down.
She held it down.
Right. So he looks at that, in the record, he looks at that, yo, you must love me if you held it down. You know what I'm saying? But if
a week ago, and then look at it a week ago, it's the same contrast where it's him and his mans, and he realizes over the phone calls with his mans that his man is already snitched or he's about to snitch because of how
and he realized that. But he realized, you know what, you probably doing what's good for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I can't fuck with that. So it's just based off of what you fuck with. Like everybody's position is different. You feel me? I can't knock it, bro. I can't knock it because I'm not in that person's shoes. You could only go based off of what you would do. So that's why you could look at Yo Gotti, who got a whole cocaine series from 1 to 9 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Who still raps about things he raps about and hates who he hates. You know what I'm saying? People in life is always going to pick and choose who they want to get tough with. It's at the end of the day, like it's situational. Everything has a situation. Everything comes with a certain circumstance, and everything is a consequence. There are good consequences. It's good consequences that he's rocking with Rock Nation.
That is
beneficial to his bottom line, Rob.
No, I'm not knocking it. I just, and like Danny said, I don't own a criminal syndicate or a $1 billion business. But I think that it's interesting because you look at like how Bleak talked. I think Bleak did an interview when he first started doing Deuce.
Yeah, Fridays. But Jay is not gonna hold that woman and Bleak to the same standard.
You ain't hear what I said though yet. Where Bleak was like, yo, like when Hov say people gone, they gone. And that also tells me that you're of use to Hov until you're useless.
Like that's everything though, bro. That's everything.
That's business, period.
That's everything. That me and Taurian can have a fallout today and I'll never be on another First Class episode. That's everything.
I may not like you. Well,
that has nothing to do with street shit or not. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's with everything. You could do some fucked up shit and I'll never support you again.
Business is literally just politics.
Politics as usual, as someone would say, you know?
Someone would say.
All right, guys.
So
I'm going to wrap this episode up. It was just something that I was like curious about because the news cycle was kind of like weird on it, like with everybody talking about it.
This is a good topic.
That I think it caught everyone's attention because of the legend of Jay-Z and then the other artists that are part of it and in hip hop, how everything looks. And then also, I thought it was interesting because of all of the artists that spoke with Jared Kushner and the Trump administration kind of all got like shunned out, right? And everyone assumes that like, even though like Jay-Z didn't directly deal with Jared Kushner and the Trump administration, he had to have some knowledge of what was going on and he didn't advise against it, right? But I think that was for his bottom line. Desiree Perez is the CEO. He needs her to be able to run the label. She can't run the label if she's a felon. So with that being said, it was his bottom line. So I guess he made the exception for that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like he's far removed from that street life, and that was her past life as well. And they're both legit now. So maybe that's why he looked at it that way.
But isn't the goal to eventually be legit?
Yes.
Honestly?
Yeah.
So
It's a story of Michael Corleone and The Godfather.
You just gotta deal with how it crumbles. Like I said, I mean, like we all just already said, like he's a billionaire. He's dealing with different shit, you know. And the goal, obviously, was to get out of this street life and to get where he is now. So you got to deal with all the ripple effects of how people see you or how people saw you, and kind of redo your whole image. And he's been trying to do that this whole time.
Yep. Reg, is that what you do when you try to get rid of women? You change your image?
Jesus Christ.
Right,
that's snitching. You see that? You see that?
Yeah. Let's wrap this episode up, guys.
That's toxic.
Thank you guys for watching. I'm Taurian B.
I'm First Class Regg.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.